Hello, cooking enthusiasts. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my invention of bacon gnocchi. For those who don't know, gnocchi is an Italian potato dumpling slash pasta. It's usually made with cooked potato, a little bit of flour, and maybe some eggs. And of course, there are variants that add or replace the potato with squash, sweet potato, beets, etc. For my recipe, I added bacon to the potatoes, and I know what you're thinking. Bacon is an overpowering or overdone flavor, but you're wrong. If you use it correctly, you can take advantage of its delicious flavor without it being overpowering. You just need to know how to use it right. For this recipe, I used between 900 grams and 1 kilo of peeled russet potatoes, and for that I used 450 grams or 1 pound of raw bacon, which may seem like a lot, but before incorporating it into the gnocchi, it was fully cooked and rendered. My initial plan was to cook the potatoes with the cooked bacon and a small amount of liquid inside vacuum bags. And this would cook the potatoes without adding much moisture, since I usually bake my potatoes when making normal gnocchi. So if you have a vacuum bag sealer, I recommend you do that in a very hot immersion circulator, or simply in a pot on the stove at a low boil until the potatoes are completely cooked, about 40 minutes. I unfortunately misjudged the potato doneness for this first attempt, so I finished the potatoes by boiling them in a small amount of water with the bacon also. I'm definitely still refining this recipe, but it did work. So once the potatoes are done, you want to take all of the bacon and separate it from the potatoes. You need to puree the bacon in a food processor or blender with as little of the starchy potato water as you can to make it a smooth puree. Then either gently mash or ideally rice your cooked potatoes into the bacon puree and fold them together. At this point, you would add the flour. For a normal potato gnocchi, I would probably use close to 200 grams of all-purpose flour for this amount of potato. But because of the added moisture from the bacon puree, you want to start with 200 grams and then add a little at a time until you get a cohesive dough. You want to do all of this while the potatoes are still relatively warm, but once the dough cools down a little bit, you can also incorporate probably 1 egg for this amount of dough. Then all you need to do is let it rest and roll it and either cut it into pillow shapes or roll it into other shapes, either by hand or with a gnocchi board. From here, the gnocchi can be boiled, then fried and sauced, or frozen for later. They're done cooking once they float in the boiling water, but I do highly recommend you also pan fry them after the boiling, since they actually smell like frying bacon. I will be developing this recipe further, but it is workable and really quite delicious. Because you're trapping the bacon in a dough, it makes it a much more subtle flavor and isn't overwhelmingly salty. I served mine with a simple tomato sauce, and it was absolutely delicious. If you try this, please let me know, and let me know if you have any questions about the recipe. Please share it if you liked it, and thank you for watching.